What if I told you that with just $100, you could manage $1,000 or even $10,000 in the crypto market? Well, that's the power of leverage trading. But you need to be aware of the fact that it's kind of a double-edged sword, and it comes with many significant risks. I'm Brett at CryptoGX, and in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what crypto leverage trading is, the risks, and a step-by-step guide to doing it safely. So let's begin with the obvious question. What exactly is crypto leverage trading? Financial leverage is essentially when a company takes out loans. They use that money to invest, and then they hope to make enough profit that it covers the cost of paying back that loan with some extra leftover. It's a bit like using somebody else's money to make more money for yourself, but it's not without its risks. If the investments don't play out as you kind of planned, then the company could find itself in hot water. In the crypto space, leverage trading is a way to boost your trade's power by using borrowed funds, kind of like getting a little extra help to make a bigger bet. So in this example, if Bitcoin increases by 5% and you're using a leverage trade, you could potentially earn, let's say, 50% more than usual with 10x leverage. Platforms like Coinbase let you borrow funds to trade bigger positions than your actual balance. But as I've been mentioning, there's a flip side to this particular coin. Losses are also amplified. If your trade doesn't go as planned, you might end up with a loss that's much bigger than you anticipated. So you could lose everything in seconds. While it's normal to look at the profit from this type of trading, it's very important to also assess the risk attached and why, if overlooked, it can be very dangerous. There's lots of really good articles and information on Binance Academy about all different types of topics, so I definitely recommend you check them out. But this one here is on liquidation and leverage. And essentially the point of this particular article in this next section of the video here is that leverage trading is definitely not for the faint of heart. And here's why it can go south pretty fast. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to worry about is liquidation. If the market moves against you even a little bit, the exchange can automatically close your position to protect itself, meaning that you're basically out. Then there's volatility. This is kind of what causes your liquidation. The crypto market doesn't really play nice. A 10% price drop while you're using 10x leverage, that multiplies it by 10, boom, that's 100%. Your entire position is wiped out within potentially a few seconds. And then there's the emotional roller coaster. Especially for beginner traders, leverage turns up the heat in your trading. Obviously, when you're trading, you're very emotionally invested, or you can be, and that's on regular changes in the percentage of price movement. So if the price movement is amplified, then the panic is going to set in even more quickly. So leverage could obviously boost gains, but it can easily break you on the downside as well. But we're going to want to be careful. Speaking of being careful, how can you be careful to avoid these risks? Well, number one, you're going to want to use a stop loss order. These are automatic sell points where it will basically sell your position before losing you a certain amount of money. Number two, you're going to want to start very, very low on the leverage scale, somewhere around maybe 5x, maybe 10x, but there are platforms that can do 20x, 50x, 100x. They're just crazy, and that's most likely going to lose your position. So start on the lower end of leverage. And number three, only risk 1 to 2% of your entire account per trade. Risking all of your portfolio is not what you want to do in leverage trading. You're going to want to hold lots of cryptocurrencies over a long period of time in order to get the most gains. And if you're going to want to try to learn how to trade, especially with leverage, use a very small percentage of your portfolio so that if something happens, you're only going to lose that tiny little palatable loss for giving you the next opportunity to try trading again without having it be your entire portfolio. Now, with all this in mind, I want you to know that there are traders out there pulling in serious profits with leverage trading. So the risks are real, but the rewards are also very real. So I don't want you to just focus on the downsides. I just need you to know that going into this. Instead, I really aim to guide you through the process of trading intelligently and maintaining control over your investments. So let's take a walk through trading with leverage on the Coinbase platform. I'm going to use the actual web page version here. It's very similar on your phone if you want to just do it there, but just for the sake of this video, we're going to look at the web page version. So when you're on your Coinbase dashboard, the first thing you're going to want to do to get to the leverage page is go to this side over here and click derivatives. Now, essentially, these leverage trades are going to be on their kind of futures trading platform on their Coinbase Advanced. So you're going to need to explore futures and put in some information for yourself here as well. So I didn't have it up, but it's going to ask you for your address, some income information. You're going to have to give it your social security number, and you're going to have to upload some sort of ID, and then it will verify you. And then you'll see this screen right here that says you're approved for futures trading. So then click start trading. We'll go to trade futures on advanced, and it will will open up your derivatives page. So I'm gonna have advanced turned on so that we can do this. We're almost ready for futures trading. Finish sign up here. So to get started with trading here, we're in the correct section. We're in here on derivatives. You're going to want to deposit some funds. You can receive crypto or deposit cash. I'm just gonna make it quick and deposit some cash. You'll click preview, and once you're ready, click deposit now. And there you go. Once you have your money deposited, this side will open up here. So now let's get started. We've got your price chart here so you can see where Bitcoin is at, just the price over whatever period of time. You can do, 5 days, 1 hour, whatever you think is the best. What we're really going to want to look at is how do we make these leverage trades? So in order to do that, we're going to go onto this side right here. It shows you your deposit balance right here, your margin ratio over here. We will get to this in a second because it will change as we change our trades. So let's assume that we're going to long Bitcoin, or we're going to buy Bitcoin in this particular trade. We're betting the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. So I'm going to leave our order as market. We'll just keep it simple, and I'll put in 0.5 here just to make it simple. Actually, let's just do 1 because each of these futures is 1 nano Bitcoin future. Now, essentially, this has a contract size of 0.01. The notional value is $1,092. And in order to get to this, we have a leverage of 3.6x, and we're going to need to pay $304 to get this. Now, essentially what this is saying here is that we're going to buy this contract for $304 and it's going to be worth $1,092. So our leverage that we're trading with in this example is 3.6x. So 3.6 times what the amount we're going to put in as. That means that if the price goes up by, let's try to make it simple, 3%, then you multiply that by 3.6, you're roughly at about 10% gain. So the movement is multiplied by 3. Now, in order to change this leverage, we're going to hover over this and click manage settings. Now, what I was talking about is this setting right here. You can increase leverage for intraday trading, get higher leverage on future trades, weekdays from 6 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. So let's click this and enroll. Now we'll go back to the trade page and we'll see what our value changes to here. So I just put in the same contract amount, notional value is 1,092, same total. Our leverage is now 5x, so all you have to pay is $219 to start instead of about $300. So our leverage is not quite double, but it's more, and that's what you're allowed to do with this particular market trade. Now I want to go back to this margin ratio up here. Right now it's showing 0%. Let's click on this information button right here. Now essentially what this margin ratio is, once you actually put in a trade and you hold some sort of trading balance, it will give you a percentage based on what funds you need or what is available depending on the status of your trade. And what I mean by that is if your trade starts to go into the negative, let's say you're longing and the price starts to go down, they're going to eat away at some of your funds eventually to cover the loss. So the maintenance margin required, which it will change once you have a position, this is the balance that is required to keep your positions open. So if your particular trade goes down in value, what you can do is you can add more funds to your account to cover that loss and keep your trade open. So let's say you open a 5x trade and your Bitcoin goes down 20%. At 5x, that's 100% of your margin, meaning 20% times 5 is 100% of the value. So your 5x trade would have been liquidated. So if you added more funds to your account, that would then essentially reduce your leverage and give you some more leeway for that price to recover and go up. So keep an eye on this when you're making your trades. Now, Coinbase isn't as customizable as other platforms like Bybit and so on and so forth. I particularly like just the ease of use of it. It gives you your leverage, it gives you your amount, and you're set to go. You can change the size of your trade, the 200, you can make it 400,000, whatever it is, and keep your leverage the same. Just keep an eye on the total because that's the amount of money you're gonna have to put into the trade. And the last thing I want to show you here is, since we were talking about stop losses and basically protecting your trades, I'll leave it as a 1 right here. We'll click this take profit and stop loss. So this is a very, very simple way to do this here, which is very nice. So they also have a take profit here. So let's say you want to stop when your loss is at 10%. You can just put the percentage right here. This would be the price of Bitcoin that it has to go down to for you to actually lose that money. money. And then same thing with your profit. If you want to gain 10%, then this is the price that Bitcoin needs to go to for it to automatically sell your position there. And if either of these things happen, at 10% gain, you're going to make $100. At 10% loss, you're going to lose $100. And this is based on a 5x trade, putting in $200 of value. So going up 10% at 5x, that's going to give you a 50% gain because you're putting in $119. You would get out $109. That's about a 50% gain instead of 10%. So keep an eye on your leverage right here. You can change that as I did by clicking the manage settings button, and then you can change your position size using the amount right here based on how many of these contracts that you want to buy. So let's wrap up here. The most important things when it comes to leverage trading is that it is a game of skill, not just luck. You're going to want to play it smart and keep your emotions in check and always keep learning. With the right mindset and discipline, you'll be carving out your own path into financial markets in no time. If you're ready to get into leverage trading or regular trading, I put links in the description for Coinbase and Crypto.com where you'll get at least $50 in crypto just for signing up with those links. And if you want to get into meme coins, I also left a link to MoonShot where you can claim some free meme coins when you sign up. If you learned something new or just enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and hit subscribe if you want to stay tuned for all things crypto. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.